So, sort of, what have you seen from the O-line throughout all of spring ball? How has the O-line sort of progressively improved, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, in the spring ball, there's always going to be ups and downs and dips. And really what I'm looking for is the dips aren't as low. There's going to be some highs and there's going to be some lows, but I'm just looking for the consistency. And they're not always going to be high and they're not always going to be really, really low. I just want them, the dips and the spaces in between to be as minimal. So, they're physical and they're starting to work together. And I'm mixing guys in and out of each other, and they're starting to work together. Just, we just got to continue to feel each other and hear each other's words, and just passing things off and communicating with each other. That way, they can be more comfortable working with each other, because we mix them up.
And you talked about those dips and minimizing those throughout all of spring ball. Is that something that stems from communication, how everyone is bought in together on this O-line as a group? Is that something that comes from that, or is that something that comes from just on the field and those abilities?
It just comes with reps and it's like a dance. Like if you have a dance partner you're familiar with, and you're going to make the right moves and anticipate. And right now we're trying to dance with different guys, which is good. And so just the right feel. This guy may need a hand placement on the shoulder. This guy may need it on the hip. The voice flexion of one guy may be different from another guy. And so they understand what we're trying to do. And a lot of the mental errors is them not sure what they're supposed to do, or sometimes they're not sure if the man next to them is going to have their back. So it's just the communication and over-communicating the different looks that our defense is giving them.
And I overheard you a little talking about, when you were talking to Basha, saying, I'm hard on them, but I love them. How important is that to you as a coach to be hard?
You have to, man. We gotta have a relationship. If I'm gonna be coaching them really, really hard and demand a lot, I better be doing my work off the field and building the relationship. And they know on the field is on the field, and once we get off the field, I'm gonna look after them and do everything I can to make sure that they're successful and that they keep their standards. And whether you're blocking a defensive end, or you're taking the right materials to school, and to me that's the same thing. And so what you're doing one thing, you're doing everything. And so if I have that relationship with them and continue to build, checking on them and their families and their girlfriends and their friends and grandparents, then they know that where I'm coming from, and I'm coming from a place where they trust me, and they know that I'm invested in them.
And lastly, you talked about setting those standards, not just on the field, but off the field as well. And we're here, we see everything on the field, but we don't see everything going on off the field. Is there anything specific you try to do in sort of some team meetings off the field, or something specific that you try to keep those standards high and accountability high, while also trying to strengthen the team bond?
Yeah, something small, like they have to know everybody's in the offensive line rooms, their name, their hometown, and their high school. And not their nickname, and not their football nickname. It's what's their name, and to be able to pronounce the name correctly. And something as small as that, with myself having a unique last name, when I hear someone say it correctly, I know they took time. I know they took time to learn it. And we've got guys, from Nigeria, from American Samoa, from Hawaii, from all different types that have names that are unique. And so those are the things that those little things, because you took time to learn it. And that's one of the little things, and just it's a constant reminder of taking the time to learn their name, and it'll spark up a conversation about what they're into and hanging out with each other. So that's a small, quick example of how the standards off the field and how I keep the standards off the field.
And you just mentioned one thing really quickly about sort of the diversity between different places, Hawaii, American Samoa, among more. I just want to ask you, how important do you think that is? That's something that goes overlooked, but how important do you think that diversity between different places is?
It is. When you have kids from different places, it's important. But in reality, you're trying to get the best players that fit your program. Man, whether they come from Arizona and Texas and California, Utah, or Nigeria, or Samoa, Hawaii, or the East Coast, you try to find the best fit, and guys that are very like-minded. So I don't really care where they're from, but whoever's on the team, if I'm going to remind everybody where they're from, how you say their name. Again, whether they're from Castile High School out here in Arizona, or from St. Louis High School in Honolulu.